Next up is Steve Earl. He's a photographer, videographer, musician, and artist who's also a former Florida Park Service ranger who worked at Ichetucknee Springs and Goldhead Branch State Parks. He's the creator of Ichetucknee Sacred Waters that includes his art and was published by the University of Florida. It's an absolutely beautiful book, and he has books for sale tonight. So, Steve, you're up.
How's everybody this evening? What a lovely group. Thank you for coming out. What I mainly want to share with you this evening is my relationship to the Ichetucknee and why I consider it sacred. And I want to do a reading from my book about the very first time I ever laid eyes on the Ichetucknee. Can everyone hear me all right? Okay. Nothing had prepared me for the day in 1983 when I first met the Ichetucknee River. Not the influences of a mother with an open, tender heart, a wise soul who was a disciplined meditator and lover of God. Not the influence of a father who was a nature photographer, jazz musician, artist, naturalist, and environmental champion. Not the experiences of long ago vacations spent in the spectacular places such as Georgia's wild Gwali Isles, the mountains of Appalachia, or the unspoiled coastline of Florida's Panhandle. Not even the stories told by my father of having canoed down the Ichetucknee some 10 years prior while working on his photographic book, John Muir's Longest Walk. No, nothing had prepared me. Here I sit on the bench at Blue Hole, shivering, stunned and in awe, after swimming out over the boil and peering down into the eye of the spring. I have no previous knowledge that the phenomena of springs and spring-fed river and systems even exist. This is all totally miraculous. Shimmering shafts of sunbeams streak down the turquoise depths, the play of light and shadow dancing on the rippled white sands below. Unseen fossils of mastodon, American lion, and giant land sloth lie asleep in her watery womb. Timucuan napped spear points lie buried deep in her banks of rich floodplain earth, unseen by human eyes for thousands of seasons. Bejeweled iridescent dragonflies of every hue cruise in and out of stately cypress trees, some alighting momentarily atop brilliant red cardinal flowers and ivory white spider lilies. Above the cypress trees I sit admiring sail several of the most magnificent bird in all of God's creation, the swallowtail kite, with its stunning black and white plumage and deeply forked tail. In pursuit of dragonfly, they put on an aerial show like no other, executing maneuvers that boggle my mind and make my heart soar. I am spellbound by this never-before-seen creature of overwhelming beauty and grace. A mixture of subtle scents wafts in the air, including cypress oils, spring water, floodplain humus, and at water's edge, the delicate fragrance of eelgrass blossoms as they periodically bob to the surface on swaying strands. Sitting quietly and counting my newfound blessings, I become aware of the mind-centering drone of summer cicadas, fresh from their years-long sojourn beneath the earth. As does ancient music, this droning has the effect of freeing my mind of thought, and thus opens my consciousness to receive the gifts of my surroundings. Relaxing deeper, I begin to feel at one with the ebb and flow of my realm, the swirling water, the thrum of insects, and the life force within me. Unbeknownst to me, on a much deeper and subtler level of my being, a life-altering transformation is taking root. I am bonding with what will become my home and beginning to recognize what is known as sense of place. I have found the center of the world. For the next 12 years, I lived close to the land in full-time relationship with the river. A primitive log cabin over 100 years old atop the underground headspring source in the river trace provided shelter and hearth. Living in such close proximity to the river, I was able to spend a vast amount of time interacting with the environment. At first, this included furthering my sense of place by practicing the art of open-eyed meditation in remote locations, through which I became keenly aware of my surroundings and the interconnectedness of all things, absorbing these experiences into the deepest level of my being. Out of this connectedness arose many other things: peace, knowledge, gratitude, artistic inspiration, and stewardship of place. The Ichetucknee became my muse, the focus of my photography, filmmaking, painting, and musical composing. I observed, too, that the very art of composing through the camera lens all day further focused my meditation and my insight into this most beautiful place. It is my prayer and hope that my life and work will inspire people to devote space in their busy lives to slow down, be still, be aware, and commune with nature regularly. I especially hope that parents and educators will reunite children with the wonders of nature. Positive environmental and personal change occurs each time a person bonds with the natural world, thus fostering peace within and a desire for stewardship of the planet we call home. So that really was the beginning, even that first day, which, thank you, George Medicine Wind Tortorelli, for taking me there that first day. I recognized immediately, hi Loy, I recognized immediately the sacredness of the springs. Do I believe that springs are inherently sacred? I do. I also have come to realize, after a 42-year relationship with the river, that the more I honor it, the more sacred it becomes. And so I honor the river daily in many different ways. The creation of my book was a form of honoring. Raising my children to love the river and respect it and take care of it for generations to come is a way of honoring. I brought this bowl with spring water in it. It's a way of honoring. I want to share with you another way that I honor the river. Thank you, George. He and I built this together. So what I did was I dove down to the bottom of all of my favorite springs and grabbed a handful of the material at the bottom of the spring. The sand, which is the eroded mountains of Appalachia that were once as high as the Himalayas. Any number of, ancient animals that lived on the river, people, little bits of pottery from the Timucuans that lived there, whatever was in the material. Gathered that from the bottom of each spring, sifted it into 3 different grits, and experimented until I found just the right recipe. And so what I would like to do now with the minute or so I have left in my 10 minutes of presentation, I'd like to use that minute and the minute of reflection, and so I've had 2 minutes, to play you a little bit, a recording from Grassy Hole Spring that Johnny and another good friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, and myself recorded. And the flute can go with that as well.